Sometimes I feel like it's really hard to define indie games into a certain genre. Something like Megabonk is really easy to define as a Battle Heaven roguelike. But then you have Super Fantasy Kingdom, which you could define it as a roguelite survival city building tower defense auto battler, which is a mouthful. It's so hard to technically define a game like this. So let's talk about why I think it fits into like every single one of those categories. And I need to clarify what I've played. I've mostly played the human side of the game. I've only touched the undead side very briefly right before writing this script. So I'm not like, I haven't experienced a lot of that side of it. And Super Fantasy Kingdom just recently released into early access on Steam and game preview on Game Pass. So it's not a finished game yet. Now that you have the background information, I hope you're having a royal day or night, whatever it is for you, and let's break down Super Fantasy Kingdom. The game's main theme is survival. How many days can your city survive against hordes of enemies? You'll start out with a chosen hero after you've unlocked them, and you'll get to choose another unit from a selection of 3 units basically on the first or second day. These units have to defend your city and are key to your city's survival. As you survive longer and longer, you discover new units that help with your survival if you can afford them. So to survive, there are 2 different systems that play together. One is the tower defense auto battler system, and the other is the city building system. The city building system is the core gameplay loop of Super Fantasy Kingdom, while the tower defense system is a secondary system that relies heavily on the city builder system. The city builder system is your core gameplay loop. It's a very simple city building system, and it does work. There are large plots and small plots. The large plots are for production buildings, things like the lumberyard, stone and gold mine, smeltery, stuff like that. The large plots are split into 4 categories. You've got basic, production, special, and kingdom. Basic buildings are your collectors, things that gain basic resources like wood, stone, gold ore, wheat, things like that. Production buildings take the base resource and turn it into something else, like lumber or planks, gold bars, flour, beer, etc. Special buildings are things like the siege factory to build more defensive weapons, a portal to summon more units, and a stable for more carrier donkeys. Stuff that benefits you, but not in a way that the others do. The kingdom buildings, well, there's honestly only one right now, are buildings that apply a buff or generate something special like faith. Normally, these buildings are built using the generated resource faith instead of a gathered resource. The one building you're required to place on the large plots is the tavern, where your fighting units go at the end of the day to increase their levels and rest. Then you have the smaller plots. On these ones, you can build things like homes to get more workers, decorations to generate gold, and fishermen to catch fish for food. They're kind of your supplemental buildings. There are some spots that you don't have a choice with what you can build, like the port, but there's not many of them from what I've seen. Every building and every plot is important because you're limited in the amount you have in the early runs. As you survive longer each time and gain more trophies, you will unlock more roads within your city, which will open up more plots to build on. I think it's like every 10 kills you get 1 trophy, and like you need a certain amount to open up a new road. So eventually you will get enough plots to build all or like most of the buildings that are available to you. And using the resources that you gather with your buildings, you can either upgrade your buildings, build new ones, or put the resources into your tower defense units. Speaking of defending towers, how about liking the video and subscribing to the channel to help build this kingdom? Also, voice your opinion on Super Fantasy Kingdom on the town hall board that is the comment section below the video. Now back to defending the town against hordes of enemies. I'm calling it a tower defense system because your units act without you needing to do anything other than place them at the location where they can fight from. When an enemy gets in range, it'll attack on its own. Altogether, like everything else in the game, it's a simple system that meshes well with the other systems. So at the beginning of a run, you start with just your hero and are then given a second unit for free. But if you've explored the map, you can use the resources you have gathered to recruit different units. There are 3 different costs that go into each of the units: the recruitment cost, the upgrade cost, and the placement cost. The recruitment and upgrade costs are normally the same resource, while the placement cost is coins. You have to buy a spot to put them on the field of battle. The recruitment and upgrade costs are the same on every run. So for the priest, it's 4 wheat to recruit, then 8 wheat to upgrade for the first time, then 16 for the next, and so on and so forth. I think it doubles every time. I'm not sure though. But when you lose, it's all gone. And this is where the roguelite features start to kick in. Every time your city falls, you lose all of your units and all of your buildings in the city. You have to start over from day one. It's basically a time loop game. What you keep within the runs are all of the roads you've unlocked, all of the shrines you have completed that give you additional starting resource nodes on the next run, any of the events you've completed, like helping a village or, completing all the quests for the church. They stay unlocked for your next run. And any characters you've done the quest for will stay unlocked also. But for a roguelite, there's very little to do between the runs. The most you do is put a unit in jail so it won't appear for you in the next run. You can also craft new equipment that you can bring into the next run, check what you need to do to unlock units and characters, and then, just jump into another run after selecting your hero and their equipment. It's not a lot of busy work outside of the runs. And 90% of the time, you'll just be jumping straight back into a run of Super Fantasy Kingdom. And that's what Super Fantasy Kingdom is at kind of a 1,000-foot view. My thoughts on Super Fantasy Kingdom are that the game isn't as fast-paced as a lot of the other roguelites that are out now, like Megabonk, because of its main gameplay mechanics. But even with its slow gameplay, I still think it's a fun, casual roguelite survival, city building, tower defense, auto battler thing. If I was going to rank it in my completely arbitrary and opinionated ranking system, I'd throw it into the bottom half of the I like it category. I'd put it here because while it is simple in its designs and mechanics, it feels like it is a good starting position within early access. I think there's a good amount of content to play through between the human and undead kingdoms, and I'm curious to see how it evolves going forward. My hope is that they add in new maps or different city layouts with their updates, along with adding new buildings, new resources, and new factions. Let me know in the comments below, along with your thoughts on the game and everything you've seen in this video from it. And don't forget to do that algorithm stuff, and I hope you're having a royal day or night, and I'll talk to you next time.